Today's topic, autistic burnout.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh, no. So don't you bring me down today.
Hello, big wide world of YouTube. Welcome back to Living Life with Autism. I'm Ryan, and today's topic is autistic burnout. Every case of autism, every person will at least experience a few times where they will go through autistic burnout. These burnout episodes happen when we go through a large amount of stress or a big life transition. But during these burnout episodes, it can be very stressful and hard to go through, especially if you don't know what is happening. But it is important to know what it is and how you can recover from it. These burnout episodes happen at any age, from when you are a small child to a teenager to an adult. It even happens when you're even in your 50s and 60s. For example, when a very young child goes through an autistic burnout, they usually lose their ability to speak, or they lose certain chunks of their vocabulary. In teenagers, especially the social kind, they usually have trouble looking into people's eyes during conversation, even though that they learned this skill when they were very young. But in older ASD cases like myself, you're more aware of the world around you, so you experience more symptoms and you know what they usually lead to. These symptoms include oversensitivity, needing to stim more often, emotional and physical exhaustion, speech issues, and reduced social skills. When I first learned about autistic burnout, I thought it happened to me a lot more often than I think it should, especially after a really hard day at school or a really hard week that I was experiencing. Literally all I wanted to do was stay in my room and watch YouTube and just do whatever I wanted because I was so done with school or people, or I just wanted to be alone. Speaking from a more scientific view of autistic burnout, it's still a relatively new field of study, so scientists are not yet sure of what exactly causes people on the spectrum to think this way and have these type of burnout episodes. Since autistic burnout happens over high stress situations or life transitions, then you need to learn how to reduce that stress and calm yourselves down. So here are a few ways to recover from an autistic burnout. One way is to stim. Like in my previous video about stimming, it is a very common coping mechanism for those of us who are on the spectrum. So stimming can actually help us reduce that stress that caused our autistic burnout. Another way is to take time away from your stressor. What I mean by this is take a day off from school, take a day off from work, or even just schedule some time for you to be alone. With this time, you should be able to stim, relax, anything that you need to do to calm yourselves down and recover from your burnout. Another way to recover from an autistic burnout is a sensory and social withdrawal. This option of recovery is more of a seclusion type option, but it really does help, especially for me. Take some time and find a nice secluded, quiet area to stim, relax, and just get out all your nerves and sensory overload that you need to. Personally, this is one of my favorite ways to get over my autistic burnout, especially after coming home from being around so many people when I'm at school, stressing about my workload, stressing about professors, and especially with the pandemic right now and not wanting to bring anything home to my family. So when I do come home, I need to be by myself for at least an hour before I actually start socializing with my family or their friends or anything like that. I ask to go to my room, I watch YouTube, I watch Netflix, all kinds of good stuff. And the final recovery method is to do what makes you happy. This can range from anything from watching TV, drawing, listening to music, or even just cuddling with your dog. And now I'd like to state some very important things that families of people on the spectrum and friends should know about autistic. First, give them your support. Let them know that you understand why they need to recover after a autistic burnout. It is not that they are trying to physically avoid a social interaction or social event. It is that they just don't have the right mindset to do it themselves. Second, make special accommodations for social events. What I mean by this is if you have a child who is on the spectrum, or even if your friend is on the spectrum and you see these symptoms of burnout, then let them know that it's okay to stay home and recharge. For example, my mom knew when I was becoming overstressed, and especially knew when I was going to have a burnout episode or a meltdown. So what she would ask me in these times was, would you like to stay home from school? Since I did not like to miss school very often because I didn't like doing makeup work or learning what I missed, so I would often avoid trying to do that, but I actually really needed it because of my burnout episodes and how much stress I actually have. So me and my mom called these my mental health days. She would let me stay home and basically let me do whatever I needed to do to relax, whether it was just watch TV, stay in my room, play with my dogs, or even if she had to stay home for the day, we would watch a movie together, we would go run errands together. Basically, she did whatever I needed to recover from my burnout. So an overall summary of my video is that autistic burnout is a very real process that we go through, and it can be very serious because it can lead to permanent regression. So that is why it is so important for those of us who are on the spectrum and families and friends around us to make sure that we really take care of our mental health. And that is it for the video today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See ya!
Thank you for being in my video.